ورسول الله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. فإن استقى الحديث كتاب الله وخير هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشرور الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. الحمد لله رب العالمين هو الذي جعلنا مسلمين. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم إسلام الدين. هذا النعمة من الله سبحانه وتعالى، نعمة نعيم كبيرا جدا. الحمد لله الحمد لله الذي جعلنا مسلمين. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Hidayah min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the guidance of Almighty God, is the nama, the beautiful gift, the best of gifts that Allah bestows on those who are actually seeking after truth, those who are willing to humble themselves in front of their Creator and put their head on the ground, literally, not just figuratively speaking, but literally, humble themselves in a way that anybody, regardless of where they're from, can recognize this person has humbled themselves by putting their head on the ground. I'm looking at something that one of our local brothers put together. I was so impressed with it when I saw it today, because the way he put this together, you could give this to anybody and let them see it and they'd be happy. It doesn't say Islam on it, by the way, but it carries the message of Islam. Like a bumper sticker that we have, it says, worship the Creator, not the creation. In other words, ibadah is for al-Khaliq, not for the makhluk. And it makes sense to anybody that has even an ounce of belief in their body or soul. They've got to recognize that that makes sense. Because if you think about it, why would you give your devotion and your ibadah, your worship, to something that even the human beings can master in some way or another, to the creation? And on this little card, our brother came up with something too. He gives this out to people. It kind of challenges them. I know you can't see it from where you're at. I'll read it to you. But it asks a question. It says, are you tired of being misled? Well, maybe you think about politically, or maybe you're thinking about religion, or maybe you're thinking about something on Facebook. But all of us are fed up with being misled. Then it says, are you depressed? A lot of people are depressed these days. A lot of folks are depressed. Suicides are at a high point right now. I don't know if you know that or not. Maybe more than any other time. We've seen so many people commit suicide. And this is the time of the year where you really see a lot of it, right after Christmas. Right after Christmas and right after New Year's. You'll see people will do that more so then than any other time. You know why? They're holding off. They want to have their family reunion. They're hoping maybe things will get better. And then when they see it didn't work, they're fed up. They're depressed. They don't have enough belief to hold on. They commit suicide. It also says on the card, are you lonely? And again, there are people that are in huge crowds. When I visit places like Tokyo, New York, Paris, Big crowds of people walking in the streets, but yet they're lonely. Can you imagine? Muslim can have 2 or 3 brothers around them and feel very much at home, like a family. And we just met each other. Is it right? You feel like that. How about being in a crowd of hundreds or even thousands and still feeling lonely? No wonder they're depressed. He goes on to ask him another question. It says, are you hurting deep and you can't be fixed? And that's true of a lot of our human being brothers and sisters in humanity. They feel hurt. Somebody did something to them or something happened to them and they don't know where to turn. I was so impressed with the card. I started studying it and looking at it. And I was realizing this is really the way. And it even represents himself in a nice way. He said he's a servant of the one, the infinite, the creator. Then he asked the questions that a lot of brothers in Dawah, they ask people, do you know where you really came from? Do you know where you're going? Do you want a real meaningful relationship with the one who created you? Do you need answers? And then, of course, he puts our website on there, Expose Islam. Oh, yeah. Now, how many non-Muslims are ready to expose Islam? Right now, boy. Yeah. It's exposeislam.com. It's also called shareislam.com, by the way. It has 2 names. You can go either way. It's the same network that we use that has everything in it that you need for Dawah. You'll see it when you check it out. Then he put on there guidus.tv. That's our television channel, been broadcasting now we're in our 7th year, by the way. That's really why Guidus TV is on the tour of the DFW area. And this is the first stop we're making right here. So if you didn't know that, we have an antenna that's broadcasting for this area. Well, actually, we have 2 stations here. We're in our 4th year of broadcasting locally here on channel 26.1 and 28.2. Also, of course, we're on the satellite, we're on the apps, things like that, but we'll tell you about that later. Then he also put on here scienceislam.com. And that's great for the people who really want to find out, is there really a God? Maybe they're an atheist, but they're still looking. Maybe, Or the one who's agnostic, meaning that they say, well, I don't know if there's a God or not, but I don't want a religion. These websites and the television channel, all of this is designed for just one thing. And by the way, we take no commercials, nothing that we put out. If you see any of our stuff with a commercial on it, somebody else ripped it off and they put it there. Like on YouTube and those kind of things, when you see it pop up, that's not from us. Somebody else is doing that. And may Allah help them and guide them. The point that I'm bringing out is that this is one of our local brothers right here. And he came up with this thing on his own. And when he showed it to me, I was like, this is amazing. You got more of these? I want you to give one to every one of these brothers before you leave out of here. You hear me? How many you got? By the way, you're not supposed to talk in the Jumuah Khutbah except to the Khatib if it's necessary. Bunch? You can't even handle the first row. Okay. Well, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Anyway, I hope you'll get a chance to see this, or maybe you'll try to do something on your own, because here's the thing, brothers and sisters. More now than ever before, the Muslims have got to have a voice in their community. For 25 years, since the day I entered Islam, right here in Texas, as a matter of fact, on Center Street, that was the only masjid we had back in those days. And I spoke to the Imam Motez about this same subject the first time I sat in his office with him. I said, you got the greatest thing going Islam is amazing. It answers questions. And let's get together. Let's do something. He said, well, whatever. I was so excited. I remember asking him, in Arlington alone, in those days, there was over 200,000 people. That's what the statistics said anyway. I don't know. And I was just thinking, as soon as we get this out of here, we'll put it on television, obviously, put it on the radio, billboards. We'll get some people to help us do that. We can do that. Everybody translation. They translated the word qital to jihad in the English language. Is that a translation? No. That's a breach of trust. You're telling me that you're going to translate a word from the same language and give it another meaning. This is the danger, the real danger that's going on, that anybody can go out here and just release something, get a few people to stamp, with a rubber stamp on it and say, yeah, I signed it off. And a lot of times they don't take the time to read it, or they're not qualified to know. But for sure, and I'll come back to the main subject, the word Islam. If you don't ever translate it, how are people supposed to know what it is? Many Muslims have been confronted with that over the last 10, 15 years, and they started coming up with their own translations of what is Islam. Islam means, and then they'll give their own meaning to it. One of the most common ones, Islam means peace. Yeah? Really? When's the last time you said Islam alaikum to somebody? Huh? When's the last time somebody walked up and go, Islam alaikum? You're like, what? You just learning Arabic or what? Why you said that? Well, you said it means peace. Oops. So by not translating it, not translating the meaning, fine, if you want to leave the word there, I don't have a problem with that. But put parentheses and tell us what the meaning is. Everybody knows Christianity is named for who? Christ. That's not hard to figure out, is it? Judaism is named for who? Judah, the tribe of Judah. Buddhism is named for Buddha. Hinduism is named for Hindustan. Islam is yeah, that's the problem. If you can't even translate that, what about the rest of it? Because when you say Islam Adina, it'll say religion. Deen is religion. It's not wrong, but it's not totally right either. It doesn't give you everything. You know why? Let's check this out. In the Quran, And you know this one because you've memorized it. Lekum deenakum waliyadeen. Now, who am I supposed to say that to? Believers? No. A movement? No. You're saying that to who? A disbeliever. Isn't that true? How does it start out? Ya ayyuhal kafirun. Kafirun. These are people that are disbelievers. True or false? So how am I telling somebody who doesn't even believe in Allah at all, rejects belief in Allah, and I'm saying, Lekum dinakum waliyadeen? I'm telling him, to your religion and me to my religion. How does that work? How can I say to him, to me is my religion and to you is your religion? And he's going, what are you talking about? I don't have a religion. That's the whole point. Oops. How do you translate it? Ask a real scholar and find out. What they explain to you in the Arabic language, you begin to understand it's what you do. It's what you're all about. It's what you believe, even if it's disbelief, but it's what you're upon, if you don't mind me using that phrase. So, whatever you do, it's your way. Deen is way. Now check this out. Once you do this, then you draw yourself a lot closer to the Christians and can wake them up to something that's in their own Bible. One word. One simple word, just by getting the right meaning. You want me to show you? Watch. Instead of saying religion, say way. Our way. Our way is to worship Allah alone without partners. That's our way. Our deen, our way. Right. Okay. In the book, after the Gospels in the Bible, it's called the Acts of the Apostles, or abbreviated, they call it the Acts. And you will find in the 7th chapter that Paul is telling about himself that he used to persecute the followers of Jesus. He said he used to persecute them to death, even kill them. But he didn't call them the followers of Jesus. You know what he called them? Ahl Din, people of the way. They translated it exactly. And they even capitalized the W in there to let you know it was a proper noun. It was not just a word way. It was what they were called, people of the way. Now, if people understood that you were saying that, they'd be like, wait a minute, how does that compare? And then if they knew what Islam meant, wow. Do we have enough time? Let me look. Would you like to know what Islam can translate to English and help people better know? The thing that I read to you from the card is Islam in every single way. The one word that we don't have translated answers every single thing that I read to you from the card. Let me refresh your memory. Being misled, looking for truth in a world of lies. You're depressed, you're lonely, you're hurting, you can't be fixed. Something's missing. Where did you come from? Where are you going? You need answers. Every human being, believe it this or not, talk to psychiatrists, they'll tell you. Every human living being on the planet since Adam until today has one common denominator that all of us, we think we are upon or we want to get it. This is something we need. You know what it is? Every human being wants this same thing more than anything else. It's why we do what we do. It is why we get an education. It's why we work. It's why we want to make money. It's why we want a bigger house, a bigger car, a beautiful spouse. These are the things that we think will give us what we really want inside. You know what we all want? In Arabic language, I'll tell you what the word is. Aslama. Aslama. That's what we're looking for. And how do you understand it? Watch this. First of all is surrender. This is in the dictionary, the Mawrid, if you want to look it up and find out for yourself. These are some of the composites that come together to help you understand Aslama. Surrender to Allah. Submit to the commandments of Allah, the Amr of Allah. Then, to obey those commandments. How? In sincerity. All these words are there. And in peace, to achieve what? Security. Security and safety. All of these, salama, coming from the same word. Istaslim. Salam. And Islam. All coming out of silm, the same root. Now, watch this. Everything on here, the person he needs what? He's looking for what? And you've got it right here, and you didn't tell him. It's as simple as that. He needs to know what's Aslama. We also need to know it so we can do it properly. And that's why we come to the Masjid, to learn, to remember, to read the Quran. Make sense? There's a step above it. One more step. Put mu in front of it, and you find the one who does it. Instead of like talk, think, believe, we put after everything in English, right? In Arabic, you put mu in front of the verb. And then mu adan, mu safar, mu aslam, Muslim. Watch this. Once they know surrender, submission, obedience, sincerity, peace, and security, safety with Allah, how could they now say the other things that they've been saying on the news? Nobody will buy it. They laugh in their face. Islamic extremist, Islamic terrorist, a what? A peaceful, surrendering person to God, sincere, obedient, terrorist? Doesn't work, does it? And all because we didn't translate one word. And also because we didn't really live it either. Because when we live Islam, people recognize it. And they say, you know what? I want to be like that guy. He's got that peace. He's got that security. Something happens to him, like he locks his keys in the car, right? And he doesn't panic and break out the windshield and go crazy and jump up and down. He just says, Qadar Allah, mashallah. He loses his job. He doesn't go commit suicide. He just says, Alhamdulillah, I got some time to read the Quran. I'll go to the Masjid. Alhamdulillah. Somebody dies. We say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. We go to the janazah. But we know that that person is okay. He's with Allah. It's not the end of the world. Not for us. So when they see that, they'll be like, yeah, tell me more. Tell me more. I highly recommend, brothers, that you consider doing something like this. Whether you want to use our websites or not, that's up to you. Whether or not you want to watch the Guidance TV and use that as a tool, it's up to you. We did our job. It's up to you. But I recommend you better do something. Because Allah is going to ask all of us, what did you do with the life I gave you? How did you use it? How did you spend it? Were you working for this dunya or were you working for your akhir? May Allah give us that tawfiq, ameen, to work for our akhir and not for this dunya, ameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those people who understand and carry that message for our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ameen. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد الحمد لله رب العالمين هو الذي جعلنا مسلمين اقاموا الصلاة